slow touch, brown and white. Like I go country, grab and buy. We can go bust, eye for eye. We can lose trust. White rum, fizzy pop. Where you they go, we they go up. Catch my vibe, let me go off. Blam the trash, man it's so tough.
Alright, yo, put the belly on the body, make a catch. Seen her watch, now she wanna give crutch. Boy got peas, now she hopping in the pod. Man, a real life sugar gal, and my forget what. When she want dark, told her meet me at the top. Switching lanes the other day, I seen her waiting for.
Hello, my butterflies. Welcome back. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share these videos. I need you to share them with everybody, okay? Thank you. Please. It works for kids, why can't it work for me? So before we get started, don't forget, we're in a pandemic right now. Everybody's home. Some people make loud noises. I can't do anything about that, but I have to record because I want to play in my makeup. So come on and join me if you will, and I'm going to do my makeup. Let me move my hair back first. Hold on. So what have you guys been doing while all of this has been going on? As my mama says, playing tennis. She's like, don't ask me what I've been doing. I ain't been doing nothing. You can't do nothing. You right here. But I know that some people have been very creative in what they have been doing. Whether they have... Oh. I don't have the Ronas. I'm sorry. It's my allergies. It's allergy season too. Take out my nose ring. Okay, so let's see. The topic for today is going to be investing in yourself. So, why is it important to invest in yourself? Because you need to pay attention. I almost just put foundation instead of my primer. And before we get started, I'm going to put on my lip gloss so my lips is not ashy squared. Of course, I use the Tokyo lip gloss. I dropped some of this off to the girls in our program. I hope they like it. Can't even get it anymore. So, I won't be able to do it anymore. Not that one. Okay, so, really? It looks, okay, so let me show you guys why I'm doing it. They were sitting next to each other. So, innocent mistake. Don't judge me. I won't judge you. Okay? So, let's see here. Let me do my primer. So why is it important to invest in yourself? It's important because if you don't, who will, right? So if you don't see the value in yourself and what you have to offer, how can you expect anybody else to? So a lot of times I'm going to be transparent and I'm going to talk about me, and then you'll see the lesson in it. Talk about myself, right? Talk about my mistakes and how they've helped me or I've identified them or whatever. So a lot of times we talk about how people treat us and how they do us wrong. Well, it's two parts to it, right? So you can either be the victim. Well, not either could be the victim. You could stay in the victim position, or you can own your piece in it, figure out how to improve it, so whatever that is doesn't happen again, and then you can move on, right? That's the best way. So, and by the way, my therapist told me that too. Is anybody else back in therapy? Because therapy right now, everybody should be in therapy that needs it. Because this pandemic is weighing on people differently, especially people that are by themselves. It's really difficult. So if you need to see a therapist, please do so. That's my public service announcement for today. But you need to... Did y'all miss me being lost and looking for stuff? So I want to put this on my face and I want to try it again. It's black opal. But here's the thing. Child, I tried that the other day. And that mess, I think it just came off my face yesterday. So I am going to instead use the Juvia's Place. And this is the matte foundation. So I'm going to use that because that just works better for me. I don't have time to be still taking this off 2 years from now. I just don't. I don't have that kind of time not to play in makeup. And I think I want to use this flat brush. So anyway, if you can't blame other people for how they treat you if you let them treat you that way, right? So you're probably asking, how do you let somebody treat you bad? Well, here's how. You let them treat you poorly by the way, number one, you set yourself up to be treated like that. Example. This example that I have to give it from somebody else because it was public and it was very, very big and a very controversial person. I think I used too much. This is why you're supposed to practice. Okay? You don't take a break. Now I'm finna be over here looking like a theater performer. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, kids. Okay, so, and I really think this is a little bit orange. A lot more brown. Okay, you guys remember on Basketball Wives when Evelyn told Chad something to the effect of, I know you're gonna cheat, just don't let me find out. Remember that? Before they got married? First of all, girls and guys, you don't ever tell somebody that you know what they're going to do, but just don't do it this way. What? No. Might it happen? The reality is, might it happen? Of course. The reality is also, you don't accept it in advance. Like, who does that? Like, don't do that. And a lot of times, a little bit, I would say, you do it a little bit, even if you don't say it out loud. To some degree, you've probably done it because you're like, well, I just want these things, so if I have to forego these other things, then it's okay. When the reality is, it's kind of not okay because those things bother you as well. So if you let those things happen because you told yourself that it's okay as long as B doesn't happen, I'm okay if A happens. That's how you allow people to treat you in a way that you do not want them to treat you without even noticing that you're doing it. But you kind of downgrade what you want because you feel like you can't get exactly what you want. So since I know this doesn't exist, I might as well just do this. And these days, a lot of people do that in the area of cheating. You start to accept whatever, even with jobs. I would say that that's probably the biggest area that I personally did it. And now I'm going to contour. That's probably the biggest area where I did it. Where I said, you know what? It's okay. I just want to make it to this particular position. And so until I get there, I know there are going to be some sacrifices that I have to make. I probably have to do some things for free and so on and so forth, right? But every time that I went that route and just accepted, whatever was happening, I ended up doing the work and then watching somebody else come in and actually get the position. Okay, I was teaching them how to treat me. I was teaching them that it was okay for me to be the person that did things until they found the person that they wanted. When if it was okay for me to do it, I should have been their first choice, right? But I didn't see it that way because I feel like a lot of times women, and then especially women in our culture, are taught to work hard, prove yourself, and then things will come together. Like kind of like you'll get your stuff after we've determined that you're worth it. That's just how I feel. Whereas I feel like there's some other races who have it right. And this is just a general comment. If it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't. It applied in my world. They would come in saying what they wanted. They would come in saying what they were not going to do. They would come in saying what their value was and asking for things that I thought was like, oh my gosh, they're never going to get that. Why are they asking for that? Or, oh man, they just ruined it for themselves. And they would get it. And then I was sitting there like, how? I could never do that. I could never do that. And so that's the twins. They're throwing their toys now. I would think that I could never do it. So I just didn't even ask. I'm like, in that, not a good mentality. Like, if I'd rather just keep what I have than risk losing anything, right? So I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to make anybody mad. It's not that serious. At least I have a job. One day it will happen for me and things like that. But I wasn't really pushing forward how quickly that it would happen, or standing up demanding that it happen a lot of times until it was like too late, meaning you've already given away too much for free. So since you've given away so much for free, like, they don't see a sense of urgency for you to do it, because now you're already doing certain things that they now expect from you, right? They now expect these things from you, and you've been doing it for free all this time. So now they're like, you might as well keep doing it. I mean, just different things, happen in the course of me trying to work the way kind of I was taught to work. I wasn't taught to stand up for myself at work, I was taught to don't risk losing that good job, and not by my mom. I was taught, like, don't rock the boat. It's okay. It will happen when God says it's going to happen. And I do believe that it's going to happen when God says it's going to happen. But I believe that there are certain things that you are supposed to do along the way as well, so that they will happen in God's timing, and you're not in the way of them happening too. Because if you keep giving it away and don't listen to the lessons that He's trying to teach you, then ultimately you're shooting yourself in the foot. You are. And then you want to sit there and be mad after everything is all said and done, because you're, what do they teach us to be? Be humble. And yes, you should be humble, but not in the way that I am talking about. Be humble. Don't overstep your bounds. Don't talk like that. Don't demand things. Don't be cocky. Why not? Why not? If you can't pump yourself up and sell yourself, then who is gonna do it for you? Because I could tell you one thing, especially in the market right now and the way that it's about to be after this is all over, it's going to either be a very kumbaya, meaning people start to value each other more and things work out better for people, or it is going to be a very cutthroat, every man for himself type of thing. And if that is the case, y'all better get ready. You better get ready to protect what's yours. You better learn how to speak for yourself, because people are going to need jobs, and they are going to come for your job, my job, whoever's job, if it means that that's how they are going to put food on their table. They're not going to care about you. And do I think that people should behave that way? No, I don't. But I think that it's going to happen. So I think that you guys got to get ready, especially our youth who are going to be graduating from college and entering the workforce and things like that. It's not the best time for things like this to be happening, except for, now here's what I do believe. I do believe that what God says will happen, no matter if it's a storm or not. I do believe that, but I do believe that you have to do your part. I do believe that you should be working on selling yourself. If you want to start a business, now's the perfect time to be researching what you want to do and the best way to do it, and reaching out, making connections with others I do believe this is the time to really work together, because if you want to move faster, you have to work together. A car with 4 wheels on it drives much better than a car with 1 wheel on it. A car also moves faster than a bike. Now, you could get on your bike if you want. Nothing wrong with it. But just don't complain when it's not moving as fast as a car. And there's nothing wrong with either decision. But what I will tell you is that the art of communication, the art of building relationships, and all of that is really going to matter in the next segment of life, what life looks like. It's not going to be a who you know type of thing so much, because a lot of people that you knew that were in those roles are not going to be in those roles, or the role will look different because of everything that's going on. The role will look different, and things like building relationships based on who you know, a lot of people won't even build those relationships because they will have never been in an office together. They will never have been in an office together. They will have only built a relationship over the computer, in which case most people that are smart don't make agreements over the computer. The computer will be doing a lot more of the selections, meaning there are computers, programs like a Taleo or something like that. And what happens is you go into the system, you tell the system what you want the person to have in the position that you have open, the qualities that you want them to have, or the skill sets, or the education, and you tell it to the computer, and the computer will then pull out of the people that applied, it will pull out the applicants who meet those requirements, and then those will be the ones who get the call. So if they can't make it past that, then the favoritism piece goes away, and just bringing in whoever you want to goes away. The government is now going to be very much so involved in a lot more businesses because of the bailout, the stimulus money. So they have to follow by certain rules. And so that could play a part in all of this as well, right? So get ready to teach people how to treat you. If you can, look up some videos on how to market yourself, how to give your elevator pitch. It's called an elevator pitch. And that's basically where, if you had only the time it takes to go up in the elevator to pitch yourself to someone, I'm going to set my face now. I'm just doing natural today. Enjoy my black background music of the kids playing. Where if you had to if you have the opportunity to meet somebody who could change your life, and they you were going up an elevator, which is a floor, a 2, maybe 8. That's the only time that you had to talk to them. So basically it has to be short. What would you say? And that is going to be dependent on what industry you're in, what your goals are, and what it is for that person. So if I were you, I would have one for the industry that you want to be in. If it's something like entertainment, I would have a couple. Because you want to have one, like if you want to get into the industry versus if you want to work with somebody in that industry, meaning you already got it, you already know some things, and you just want to make it in that industry. And so when you meet them, you want to let them know why they should work with you, not that you want to work for them. Okay? because that is very diferente. Okay, so now let me tell you, with all of not just what is going on right now, but what has been going on for the last year in my life, I had to make a decision. I have to make a decision on if I'm going to allow people, and realize people, it doesn't mean friends. It means people, because I'm in business too, right? I had to decide how I was going to let people treat me. Okay? Because there were also people that, quote unquote, wanted to work with me when really they didn't want to work with me. They wanted what I had to offer. Let me get that. Let me get that, baby. I gotta pat that in. And I don't want it in my eye on my contacts. Okay. They didn't really want to work with me. They wanted what I had to offer, actually. Your girl is important, I guess. I got stuff to offer. I is smart. I don't know. I'm going to contour utilizing Bobby, because I want to bring this, my cheekbone, back into my life, because I could see it, but I don't think it's coming together on camera. And your girl wants it there. Oh my gosh, I think this is my first crayon case thing that I'm hitting the pan. Oh. Mark this in history. It only took a year. Okay. So I had to decide how I was going to allow people to treat me. And before it was like, well, just stay humble, thinking to myself, because of, that employee mentality instead of that entrepreneur mentality. I was thinking, you don't want to burn your bridges. And I'm going to bronze with the Bobby around my forehead area also. I don't want to use a contour stick. This is a contourization palette, so that's what I want to use it for. And I'm going into my part a little bit too. So that's why you see me ruffling some feathers with my part. Oh, Lord. Hold on, y'all. So I had to decide how I was going to let people treat me, because what I found was I was doing a lot more for other people than they were doing for me. And this is the only reason it was a problem for me. See, explaining myself. Only reason that it was a problem for me is because they reached out to me. I didn't reach out to them. So if they reached out to me because they, quote unquote, love something I did and they wanted to work with me, then that means that it should be a two-way street. You didn't say you wanted me to work for you. I don't work for anybody. Not in my business anyway. I'll tell you who I work for. I work for these kids. Because these kids, that's who I work for. Not these adults. But anyway, so allowing people to treat you a certain kind of way, I was thinking that, okay, after I do this, then they will do what they are supposed to. Yeah, not so much. That's not exactly, that fell on the floor. It's not exactly what happened. And so I have permanently closed myself off to certain people and certain type of relationships. If we are working together professionally and there is something that you want from me, I need it in writing. Period. I need it in writing. If there is, and that's if you're a new person. If you're somebody I already know and we like record together or something like that, and I record on your channel, I don't care about that. If you're somebody I already know and you do a consultation with me and I help you with your business, I'm not talking about that either. I'm strictly talking about new business relationships that people, quote unquote, want to build because they want to be your sis, when really you're the only one holding up your end of the bargain. Because if you give me something to do, as soon as I get it, outside of these last 2 months, don't charge it to me. Just give me a break. I'm going to do it as soon as you give it to me. So where I would get my part done of whatever the agreement was, the other person would drag their feet. Well, now they more so probably was dragging their feet simply based on the fact that they got what they wanted and they got it timely. There was no sense of urgency for them to do whatever they said they were going to do, right? Lesson learned. Apparently, I have to take ownership in that and say I allowed the person, the people, the handful of people to treat me that way. So where I thought, well, it makes sense, you know, we're trying to help each other on the way up. It's something that you need from me. It's something that I can use from you, bartering. Then, okay, great. But it's not always the case. And so it's better to cover yourself. If it's known in advance, oh, if you want to work with Asia, you know she's going to make you sign a contract. So just be ready. Even if it's somebody that's referred, then I have set the tone for how people are going to treat me, right? They're going to expect that when they come in my direction, that these are the requirements in order to work with me or barter or whatever we do together. These are the requirements, and I make no apologies for them, right? I'm teaching people how to treat me. I'm setting up my boundaries and I'm sticking to them. And when something goes wrong, I'm definitely looking at myself to see where I went wrong so that I don't do that again, right? That's what you have to do. You have to hold yourself accountable. And I'm telling you, it can be situations where you can be a 100% victim, like, oh my gosh, I can't even see how that happened. It can. But in that, you can hold yourself responsible to say, I'm never going to let that happen again in certain situations. Notice I keep saying in certain situations, because everything, it's not a one size fits all. It's not a matter of fact. I can't tell you anything matter of fact unless I know what the exact situation is and you want to share that. But otherwise, I'm just going to say the general rule of thumb is that even during the part where you're a victim, you still have the opportunity to teach somebody how to treat you and own where you possibly could have contributed to that happening and how you will make sure that it doesn't happen again. Okay, perfect. Now let me put some dimension back in my nose. Back in my nose. I am going to use Bobby. Let's see. I want to follow my natural line. Okay. And what I do here is follow the picture on here. It tells you where to do things. So I'm just following the rules and seeing how it turns out, and hopefully we're good. Wrong brush. It's not gonna work. It's too big. Okay, that one's too big. Okay, let's try this one. I think this is not the one either. Oh, maybe if I turn it like that. And don't be afraid to move brushes other directions too. Like I'm literally using this part of the brush. And I love these brushes. That ain't it, sis. That ain't it. Before I put this on my face and mess up, because I'm almost done, I know I don't wear lashes or nothing. And I'm literally doing a very... Okay, you're supposed to go up into your thing. So, you want to know the most difficult things to try to do? Let me tell you what the most difficult one is. When you have to go back and fix how people treat you. Oh, my goodness. That's the worst one. That is so stinking hard. And let me tell you why it is so stinking hard. I'm going to do my bottom lash line, and I'm using Blackboard by Crayon Case. Let me tell you why it's so hard. It's so hard because at that point, after you have to go back and fix something, depending on how long you wait, if you have to go back and fix something, now you are the bad guy. Now you switching up. Now you brand new. Now you changing. Now you on some more ish. Now you stuck up. Now you changing. Yes, I am changing. I change every day. And you should too. Okay? Thank you. It's my public service announcement. Okay, let's see. What am I going to do with my eyes? Should I use Crayon Case or Juvia's Place? So right here, I have Juvia's Place palette. I use this one already. Okay, let me tell you what I'm going to use. Actually, in real life, because I'm trying to get this done. I'm going to use the matte book. Let's use the matte book. Okay? Because I got something to do. So, anyway, you're changing. You're different. Yeah, you should be. And it's okay. And the first thing somebody is going to do when you try to correct a situation is they're going to deflect. They're going to make it about you because, remember, they're trying to get you to not change. They're trying to get you to let them keep doing that thing they doing. Okay, Asia, what do you want to do? I think I'm going to do... I'm not going to do purple. Should I try? I did. Did I do green before? I did. Maybe I'll just do brown. I feel like I've done all these before. Whatever. So. All right. I'm just doing this in my crease. And this is the dark brown color. So anyway, going back and having to fix how people treat you. Oh my goodness. That's the worst because it's pain. It takes so long because if you care about the person, now let's switch back to personally. If you care about the person, then it hurts you to see that it's even a question of why you're doing it. Because if you're doing something to better yourself, even if it's not what they like, you would want them to understand. Now, it does need to be a conversation. Don't think that people are just supposed to overnight be like, oh, okay, I realize that she's or he is trying to be better. So this must be the reason why they're doing that. Nope, don't assume anything. Don't expect them to assume anything. And you definitely owe them a conversation. An explanation? Yeah. Yep. And in that conversation, you can also own. You know how you can present it? This is how you can present it. I realized that I did X, Y, and Z. And because I did X, Y, and Z, that's why X, Y, and Z happened. I mean, it could be, I realized that I didn't tell you what day to pay me back. So because I didn't tell you what day to pay me back, I left that up to interpretation, thinking that when you got the money, because you are my friend or because you are my family, and I took the time to lend you the money or was considerate enough to lend you the money, that you would do right by me and pay me back and I wouldn't have to ask. So I've realized that going forward, I need to set up those boundaries. With anybody that asks to borrow money, I need to set up the boundaries of, yes, you can, but here's what I expect. So what you have done in that is you have told them, oh, I'll do blue. you have told them that you expected something different, but although you expected it, and the reason why you expected it, you understand why it didn't happen, and you're taking the part of the accountability where you could have done things differently, right? Now, is that going to go perfectly? Nope, probably not. Let me tell you why. Because you just told someone that they did something different than what you expected, and probably after they thought about it, dang, I probably should have paid my friend back, or at least said something. I should have paid my sister back, or at least said something, not figured that, oh, because she got it, or whatever the situation may be, they shouldn't have assumed anything either. Same situation. Oh, I thought that we was going to be roommates, but this was going to happen. And oh, girl, I thought you knew. I told you I was thinking about going away to college. I thought you knew that in my second year I was going to go to college. Well, no, I'll go away to college. No, actually, I thought that you would let me know ahead of time, even when you started applying, that you were thinking about going away to school so I can make other arrangements or get another roommate. But now that you have been accepted, now you want to say something, but where does that leave me? I'm still stuck with this rent now. And I don't have another plan because I didn't know that we were looking for plans, right? So, is that comfortable? Nope. Is it something that type of conversations that need to happen? Is it going to require you to talk about what you expected out of something and where you made your error? Because your error in that is when you guys moved in together, because there was a term on that, you could have asked, and things could change at any time. You could have asked, okay, so since we're moving in together, I know you mentioned wanting to go to school out of state. When are you going to apply? Or when are you going to know? That way I can make sure I got my stuff in a row too for, when you go, I could either move somebody in, I could be ready, girl. I'm happy for you. I am. I can't wait. I'm so excited. How soon are we thinking that's going to happen? Or what's your goal to make that happen? Right? You could have took responsibility too. You could have made sure everything was crystal clear. And believe me, I get it about making things crystal clear, especially with loved ones. It is hard. Oh, it is hard. Because you don't want them to think I don't trust you, or I think I'm better than you, or anything like that. But the reality is, everybody has to put on their big girl chonies, even when they don't want to, even when it's uncomfortable, because that's the only way that you will have clarity. And I really believe it actually saves relationships. I really believe that it does, because it's cut and dry. Everything is copacetic. The lines of communication are open. Once you've had one uncomfortable conversation, then it's easy to have other. Well, that's just going to hell, isn't it? I don't know where these go. Okay. So once you have that first uncomfortable conversation, though, I promise the ones after that are pretty easy, because now you've made it where you could talk about anything. Once you have that first uncomfortable conversation within your business, with an employee, or out with negotiating a contract or anything like that, once you have that first conversation, those other ones are easy because now you're used to it. You kind of work on how you say things, and you can even ask for feedback, like from people that you work with. Like, is it a way that I could have said that better? Or do you get why I said that? Or something like that. So it happens. Maybe I'll highlight with trophy. Let me watch my blush. I'm gonna put on some blush because let's see, my blush brush, and I'm going just over the contour here, which is kind of dope because it's light. It lightens it up, and I go a lot in here. Do y'all know how many people, if they'd have taught people how to treat them better, they'd be millionaires by now? Think of groups. Think of groups like the TLCs, the Drew Hills. I'm dating myself. What are some younger people? Heck, dang near anybody in entertainment. Dang near anybody in entertainment who got a bad deal, which unfortunately is a lot of them because they didn't negotiate their best contract. They didn't teach people how to treat them. They were more interested in the fame and what was being said than actually paying attention to how somebody was treating them and what they were actually saying. Because let's get this clear. In things with business, let me tell you how I know how you treat me. How'd you write that contract? How'd you write that contract? How you meeting those deadlines? How you doing what you said you was going to do? If I double check, are you selling my information? I'm just saying. It's a way to check. It's a way to check. And then check yourself too. When you saw something you didn't like, did you say something? Or did you just let it go? My best advice would be to start early with not letting things go and knowing how to say it though. Because the youth these days just feel like you're so entitled to everything and you're saying things without knowing what you're even talking about. So do your research before you tell somebody that they are wrong or what they did doesn't make sense. And don't be like, well, such and such said. Oh, beans and rice. Nobody cares what such and such said. Such and such said and such deal. Be able to point to the information. Be able to stand strong without saying what somebody else said or believes or something like that. Okay? If you have to pull in expert advice, then it makes complete sense to me. Otherwise, just state your case. Just state your case, honey boo boo. What you say is good enough. You don't have to, such and such. Nope. Stand on your own and be able to stand strong in what you believe in. In the midst of that, be okay with learning something too. Because if you go to the table or you feel a certain way in a friendship or a relationship and that other party shares something with you that lets you see things differently, embrace it. Embrace it. For real, for real. It's nothing like the power of growth. It just makes you better in the end, and it makes you be able to deal with more people. And the more people you can deal with, the more opportunities that you will have. My cousin, Hilda, oh my gosh, she has like one of the best personalities, and that personality gets her everywhere. Ironically, she's somebody that if you know her, you love her. She's like that personality that's just like bubbly but not too much. It's just somebody that's super duper cool. She's gonna be your biggest hype man. She gonna be in your corner. Those type of people are dope as heck. Hold on. Okay. So, work more on your personality and surrounding yourself with people and teaching them how to treat you, but being open to feedback. Be the type of person that is approachable and work on it now. And let me tell you why. I was such an introvert, and I am a little bit still now. So it can come across different to different people. Now trust me, you could be the most perfect person ever, and people still may have something to say, and that's okay. You teach people how to treat you. So if they don't like something and you don't like what happened, it is your right to walk away. Unless you are married or it's your kid and you're in a contract, or you're in a contract, something like that, it's okay to walk away. And it's okay to pay some people to never do business with them again. What does that mean? That means that they may have got you this time, but it won't happen again. That could be a result of business. Y'all, I think I need to throw this mascara away because it's old. It's done. Let it go, girl. Let it go. Maybe I will wear Raven on my lips. This was fun. This is exciting. Let's see. Oh, Raven is like a purpley color. Let's see. Oh, they just line. Oh. Okay. The pigment in these things is everything. Okay. Okay, so that I'm gonna put lip gloss on the inside. I feel like I'm missing something. I hope I'm not. Okay. That is maybe do I feel like I'm missing my nose ring? I don't know. Let's see. I like the way this turned out. It looks pretty to me. I like it. Okay, so that is. So if you have any questions on how to teach people how to treat you, holla at your girl, inbox me. Thank you for all of the compliments and everything I got for Be Love reaching out. Thank you for all of the inboxes. I think I answered everybody's questions that have come about. If you guys have any more questions, I have no problem answering them, as long as they are questions that make sense. So some questions I didn't answer because I'm not going to feed into negativity or anything like that, or silly questions like, how did you start? Watch my videos. Not only that, I started by researching. My favorite research is Google, and I watched YouTube videos. It's really what I did, and I prayed. So that is it. So don't forget to reach out for any questions that you have. If you want to be on Queen Titi Loves, and you are a friend or a family member, please reach out to me and let me know. If you have a topic suggestion, you can visit my Queen Titi Loves on Instagram and Facebook. and I will take all of your suggestions. Mostly, I would really appreciate them if you just drop them in the comments below. So that is it. So goodbye, butterflies, goodbye. Goodbye, butterflies, goodbye. Goodbye.